Do-Rag Wisdom here, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Y2K 19.10.08. And we have Vicente Fernandez in the background. And today, I just have a brief thing to say about protest and why we should protest. And of course, I just want to note to you for the next couple of days or so, I will not be broadcasting as I have some commitments I have to deal with. Just to let you all know. Somebody's put a red paint all over this bowl down on Lower Manhattan. Honestly, folks, anytime I'm in Lower Manhattan, if I have to go through there, I get crazy too. I want to scream, I want to protest. And I've done it, by the way. I've opened up my big mouth down there because I can't stand Wall Street. I can't stand that neighborhood. This bull, I guess, was made way back in the 80s, and it's become a target, and this group of environmental activists just put like red paint on it. The last thing we need, ladies and gentlemen, no matter how we feel about these pieces of trash, these Trump and Stuppen pieces of trash, we've got to be careful about how we protest. The best kind of protest that we can do is non-violent resistance, non-violent civil disobedience. What if 1,000 of us, 100,000 of us went out and just sat down in the middle of traffic, say? Or say we did some other peaceful, we blocked the entrance to one of these federal buildings. Let the cops come, don't assault them, let them carry us dead weight into the paddy wagons. See, anytime you do vandalism, anytime you do any kind of violent stuff, it just makes us, it makes our side look as bad as the other side, and that should never be, because the other side is a bunch of Nazi, fascist, traitorous scum. So I've like spit at that statue when I'm in Lower Manhattan, and I've opened my big mouth. When I walk by Socio-Capitalist Park, for example, I get pretty loud, especially when I see those police tower watchers there. We must protest. We must. Voting, yes, that's the most important thing. We've got to get out to vote. But in the meantime, we have to make our grievances known, because we have a lot of them. We have a piece of garbage, a piece of trash in our White House, a traitorous Nazi fascist scum. I will be goddess damned if I'm going to let Trump and Stuppen scum rule me for the rest of my life. Him and his freaking scum family. He's inviting Erdogan from Turkey. Remember the last time he was here and his thugs beat up on protesters, peaceful protesters? How about this pressure he's putting on Ukraine? Trump and Stuppen, trying to use his power as president to be the emperor, to be the king. I'll be goddess damned if I'm going to let this creep rule me. And what about the Supreme Court? Why should we have to be worried about who is president because they're going to pick this or that, this wing or that wing for the Supreme Court? Do you realize how many important issues are coming up right now for that court? Got LGBTQ rights coming up there. We got this thing about the Second Amendment, abortion rights, and the like. And there should not be any decision by this Supreme Court, this tainted Supreme Court. There should not be 2 more right-wing slime balls on the court. Mitch McDumbell, he broke the law, made stuff up. so that President Obama, couldn't pick his choice, Merrick Garland, for the Supreme Court. Gorsuch should not even be there. He should be impeached. And this other creep, this Kavanaugh rapist turd, who screamed how much he hates liberals, and when you want to serve on a jury, they don't want you to be partisan. How is it that the highest court in our land can be partisan? They're going to make a lot of decisions that are going to affect people for the rest of their lives. Yes, we have to protest. Yes. And it should be done peacefully. Non-violent civil disobedience all over this country. Because we have a dictator in our White House, a traitor, a fiend, who is backed by religious extremist creeps who want to turn our country into something worse than The Handmaid's Tale. Two very important things. Voting, and getting people out there to vote against this turd Trump and his Nazi Trumpist party 13 months from now. In the meantime, once again, if you had a protest, forget about throwing paint, breaking windows, violence. That's just what these creeps want. And they do violence too. Because you got to remember, to understand the Trumpist, Putin creeps, Nazi creeps, you have to read 1984, and you can understand the concepts of doublethink and revision of history and newspeak, the ink sock philosophy. That's what the Trumpists are using. I know it because I've read the textbook novel. You should do it too. And in the meantime, once again, protests should be so annoying. Yes, tie stuff up. Make people fume if you have to. Most especially make the politicians, the people running and ruining our lives, make them fume. Make them be afraid. But do it peacefully. Non-violently. That's the only way people are going to understand our side, and it's the only way that we are going to win ultimately, hopefully. Yes, we got to protest and do it right. But we have to also make sure to vote these Trumpist